Hey guys, welcome back to Telephone Tales. So today I am all on my lonesome again. I have yet to find a co-host to work with me, so you just have me, and I hope that's okay, and I hope we can be best friends because I need ya. Today we are going to be talking about crazy love stories, true stories gone wrong with love and dating, and unexpected ways to find love, or just crazy love in general, just in honor of Valentine's Day that's coming up. A little fun fact, my mom's birthday is on Valentine's Day, so I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. I've never been a big lovey-dovey kind of person in terms of Valentine's Day. So I usually just spend that day celebrating my mom. But I do love a good story and a good cringe-worthy story and a good, love story that's deep and emotional too. But for the most part, just the good ones. So I'm just going to jump right into it. I think first I'm going to do just love gone wrong stories. So I got these stories mostly on the website called Bustle. So if you want to check those out, there's a lot of them. I'm not going to read all of them. In fact, I haven't read a lot of these, pre-read them. So I'm just kind of going off of, first impressions here. So let's get into it. The first one I'm going to read is called Crazy in Love. And this happened in the late 1950s when Bert Pugosh, I think is how you say it, and Lindy Riss fell in love, and it all began as an extramarital affair. As all the best scandalous, and then in parentheses it says, or tee-hee-hee, scandalous, which I don't get. If somebody wants to explain to me, maybe that's a reference to something. I'm terrible with references. You'll learn this probably as time goes on. So I might not get a lot of things like that. So somebody let me know. Anyways, extramarital affair, and it was a scandalous affair apparently. So Bert was the hitched half of the couple. He apparently had his wife and daughter. Wait, let me rewind. Bert was the hitched half of the couple, and apparently the subject of his wife's and daughter never came up with his pretty young mistress. Oh, he never told her about it. Okay, I get it. When Linda found out, she was horrified and broke the relationship off immediately. Bert did not take this well. He began to stalk and threaten Linda. Oh gosh, telling her over and over, if I can't have you, no one else will ever have you. And when I get through with you, no one else will want you. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. When Bert found out Linda was engaged to another man, oh no, it's both ways. He made good on that threat by hiring a man to throw lye on her face. What's lye? I think that's like a poison of some kind. I'm going to look that up real quick, just in case somebody else doesn't know as well. Lye is a metal hydroxide traditionally obtained by leaching ashes or strong alkali, which is highly soluble. Oh, duh, soluble, as in to be dissolved or can be dissolved in water. In water-producing caustic basic solutions. I'm probably butchering that, but basically, yeah, poison. And so, Linda was disfigured. Her fiance left her not long after, and here was the really scary part. Bert then proposed to Linda. Oh, she accepted. What? Okay, this is crazy. Do you ever hear these stories where the craziest things happen between couples and then they stay together? And I know there's this whole concept of like they just get comfortable with it. It's what they know. It's predictable. And so, and a lot of times they feel like they can't change anything or get out of things, but that's crazy. I don't know. Like, he disfigured her face. I don't know. Anyway, so he proposed and she accepted, and then the two remained together until she passed away in 2013. Linda even testified on Bert's behalf when another mistress of his, oh my God, claimed he was stalking and threatening her. Just what? That's how it ends. Just what? Seriously. Okay, that was a good kickoff one, I guess. Let's move on. So the next one is called Bad Premonition. Listen up, people. If your partner's blithely informs you that you are going to die soon, you should probably worry about it. If only that had occurred to Tilly Kilmick's first 4 husbands back in the early 1900s, all of whom mysteriously passed away not long after she predicted their imminent demises, the Black Widow's murderous 5th husband caught a lucky break. Family members found him ailing and took him to get his stomach pumped. Tilly, as it turns out, had been adding arsenic to his food. Of course she has. How does that many men in her life die without her being the constant, thing and all of these? So basically, she's poisoning them. She pleaded guilty to attempting murder and was sentenced to life in prison. That's horrid. Okay, moving on. Any way you slice it. Here we go. You probably already know about Lorena and Jon Bobbitt, despite the fact that their 15 minutes of fame occurred over 20 years ago. I'll be honest, I don't know who they are, so sorry. To jog your memory on a summer night in 1993, Lorena claims she woke up to find her husband raping her. A year later, she would explain in court that the violation was the latest in a string of abusive horrors that Jon unleashed on her throughout their marriage. Jon fell asleep after he finished, and as he dozed, Lorena slashed off his little thing, his wiener, and as one does, of course, and chucked the thing in a nearby field. All things considered, things eventually turned out pretty okay for both Bobbitts. Lorena called the cops almost immediately. The penis was found, and surgeons were able to reattach it to Jon's body. In 1994, he was acquitted on charges of marital sexual assault, spousal rape. What? Oh my gosh. I can't even go there. We're not going there right now. Lorena, too, was found not guilty of maliciously wounding her husband. The couple got a much-needed divorce. Yeah. In 1995. Guys, I'm so glad things have progressed to where you're not allowed to hurt. Marriage isn't a constitution of being able to do whatever you want with each other. I mean, that's horrible. Anyways, okay, so let's go up a little bit because we've got another one here. Rock Steady. File this under the worst fiance of all time. Okay, we'll see. When Martin Kasperzak, I believe, started to tire of his 6-year partner, the woman of his child, Michalina what is with these names? Lewandowska, that's right. Michalina Lewandowska. He sat down with her and had a difficult but honest conversation about how he wanted to end the relationship. Ha ha ha, just kidding. I love how they did that. Martin actually grabbed a buddy, tasered Michalina, taped her wrist, ankles, and mouth, popped her in a cardboard box, and buried her alive in a wooded area. Just break up with her or leave her. Ugh. However, Martin did at least leave Michalina with her engagement ring, which, yes, seems like an insult to injury, but it wound up being super lucky for Michalina, who was able to use the ring to saw through her tape. With that accomplished, she was able to escape her subterranean prison and took Martin's ass to court for attempted murder. He was, found guilty and received 20-year sentence. 20 years? I mean, I guess it was attempted murder, but crazy. Okay, wow, that was good. I'm happy about that. So those were the love gone wrong stories. Now we're going to move on to true stories of love found in totally unexpected ways. So I'm getting most of these from listverse.com. So if you want to check those out, let's see. Where should we start? Sorry, some of these are really long, so I kind of want to get the shorter ones. Okay, so I guess we'll start with Jose and Bree. When he was only 16, Jose Perez was sentenced to 20 years in prison. Hey, that was a nice transition. For second-degree murder. I feel like he should have probably got more. I don't know. After spending his entire adult life behind bars, Jose had a lot of time to reflect on the mistakes that he made as a teenager. He was only 16. Okay. He started taking college accredited classes from inside prison and signed up for a website called prisontalk.com, which connects inmates with people who are willing to be their pen pals. Jose met Bree Morris, and they connected right away. They would send each other letters that were 20 to 25 pages long. Bree had never seen a picture of Jose, but she fell in love with him before she even had set eyes on him. He felt that through his experiences, he had a really deep value for life and maturity that she had never seen in other men. After writing back and forth for over a year, Bree visited him in prison. Jose kissed her in the visitor's room, and the real-life chemistry was undeniable. A year after visits, phone calls, and more letters, Jose proposed to Bree. They were married in 2013, where they were both 23 years old. Bree planned to go to medical school while she waited for Jose to be released, which won't be until the year 2020. Hey, that's this year. Oh, they get to be together this year. Actually, that's really sweet. With this in mind, I kind of feel like every relationship should start with just writing letters to each other. That would be the best thing ever, in my opinion. I think that you learn so much about people when your only communication is through the written word. And I mean, I know that sometimes writing and obviously texting and posting things online can be read and taken the wrong way. So maybe that's not, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I just kind of find the romance in that. Anyways, okay, Helena and Franz. Oh, this is going to be sweet. It was 1942, and a young Jewish Slovakian woman named Helena Citronova was sent to Auschwitz. Helena was beautiful, of course. I mean, she's in a love story, so here we go. And she was given one of the easiest jobs in a section of the camp named Canada. Helena's job was to sort through objects that had been stolen from the Jewish families and send the valuable items back to Germany. She could keep her hair long, and she was not in danger of being killed. However, many people in her family had been killed in other parts of the camp, so she had a bitter hatred for the Nazis, just like every other prisoner. When a 20-year-old SS officer named Franz Wunsch tossed her a note that said, "I'm falling in love with you," she immediately crumpled it up in disgust. Helena refused to even look at Franz. Despite her rejection, he continued to be friendly. Some men just don't give up. He brought her extra food and protected her from other guards. One day, Franz rescued Helena's sister from being killed in the gas chamber and personally escorted her to live in the Canada section. The sisters were reunited, and this was enough for Helena to finally give him a chance. They began having an affair, and when the war ended, they went their separate ways. Ooh. However, Helena testified for his character when he went to court for war crimes, and his life was spared. Aww. That is actually really sweet. But I'm glad she stayed true to herself there at the end. Victoria and Jonathan. What happened with these fools? Let's find out. A girl named Victoria followed her favorite local bookstore, Waterstones, on Twitter. She noticed that whoever was in charge of updating the business on social media account was incredibly funny and clever. She tweeted that she was falling in love with him. Victoria's friends dared her to ask the mystery man on a date. She publicly joked to her friends that she had already had drinks with him. That seems weird to me. Anyway. In reality, the Twitter account was run by a boy around her age named Jonathan. He was working at a bookstore part-time, and the owners had put him in charge of the Waterstones account. He tweeted Victoria on his personal Twitter asking her what she meant. Like, what the heck? We did not have drinks together. What she meant by the drink comment, and because they had never actually met. Yeah, seriously. They had a conversation about her admiration for his writing, but it never really went any further. One day, Jonathan tweeted that he had a craving for donuts. Though they had not met face to face yet, Victoria showed up at the Waterstones bookstore with a bag of donuts. Okay, this girl's crazy. Oh, I don't know. She's like stalking him on Twitter. She's joking that they've already met and had drinks together. And now she's seeing that he tweets something online and then shows up and gives him what he wants. But it turns out she slid them across the counter and ran away because she was so embarrassed. Okay. Well, when he got off work, Jonathan messaged Victoria asking her if she'd like to go on a proper date. She said yes, and 3.5 years later, Jonathan now works as a professional writer, and they are happily married. Wow, you never know, guys. Take a chance. I mean, good on her for being brave and going after him. I mean, it's totally weird how it happened, but hey, it worked out. Okay, so Emma and Adim. This one's kind of long, but let's see. We'll try. So Emma Pierre was a single French woman living in the United Kingdom. She felt that her busy work life prevented her from socializing very much, so she signed up for the reputable online dating website. Which one? We will never know. Considering that she had to pay a monthly fee, and the site required ID verification, Emma thought she could trust that a handsome man named Ronnie was real. Several months went by, and she fell in love with this man, even though they had never met. This is what I was talking about with the letter thing. I think you should know the person and then just start writing letters. Like, I don't know. Have you heard these catfish things? Have you ever watched that show, Catfish? That is a nutty show. Oh, anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. Several months went by and she fell in love with this man, even though they never met. However, it turns out that when she was being catfished. I don't know. This is what I was thinking. This is exactly what I was thinking. The photo of Ronnie were actually a model named Adim Gazelle who lived in Turkey. Emma mustered up the courage to message Adim, letting him know that someone was using his photos. Over the course of a few months, they talked and fell for one another. Unlike Ronnie, the real Adim was more than willing to get on Skype and prove that he was real. They met in real life and eventually moved in together. Wow, that ended really nice. I guess that's a good story for even the bad things can lead to good things. Yeah, that's really nice. Okay, so Mark and Zoe, let's see what happens to them. In 2003, Zoe Folbig took a train to London every day for work. One day, a man whom she had never noticed before was reading a book in the train car next to her. She thought that he was very handsome and deduced from his literature choices that he must be an intelligent, deep man. Zoe made a few attempts to flirt or steal glances, but the man was always too focused on his books to notice. One day, Zoe got up the courage to slip a note to him when they were getting off the that she had noticed him every day, and throughout that, he seemed lonely. That he seemed lovely. Sorry, I'm not used to adding that word into my repertoire, but it would be kind of sad if she said, "You seem lonely." That's not a very good pickup line. So he seemed lovely. Would you like to have a drink? Zoe signed with her email address. The same day, the man wrote her back and said that his name was Mark, and let me just stop right now. That is a good way to drop your line to people, is rather than giving them your phone number, which could just stay with you forever and is much harder to ignore, give them your email address. That's so smart. Anyway, that same day, the man wrote her back and said that his name was Mark, and he had already had a girlfriend. Aw. Zoe accepted defeat, and they continued to commute on the same train without speaking. Oh, see, now she has to see him every day. 8 months later, Mark was single, and he emailed Zoe to ask her out for a drink. Today, they are married and have 2 kids. I love that. Aw. That was so nice of him, respectful of him to wait until he wasn't, with someone again. Okay, I think there's a couple more. Let's see. Okay. Let's go with Aheed. Aheed Quadri, I think is how you say it. Sorry, I got the sniffles all of a sudden. My nose just got really stuffy and I don't know why. I really hope I'm not getting sick. Okay, Jahid Kodari. Kodari. I'm so sorry if that's wrong. I'll just call him Jahid. Jahid grew up in a Muslim family in the United Kingdom. As a child, he knew he was somewhat different than the rest of the kids at school. He was bullied on a daily basis. He wasn't sure why everyone hated him. And at the age of 18, he did some online research about his feelings and realized that he was gay. He tried to tell his mom, but his family told him that it was a disease or a phase. So they sent him to mosques where they performed rituals and made him take medications to cure his homosexuality. Jahid didn't want to be different, so he willingly went along with all of these rituals to try his best to change. When he couldn't fix his homosexuality, the mosque he was attending excommunicated him and he attempted suicide. Oh. The very next day, he sat down on a park bench and started to cry. He prayed to Allah for answers for his suffering, and a young man named Sean saw him crying and sat down on the bench asking him what was wrong. Sean and Jahid ended up dating for years, and Jahid's mother learned to accept her son's sexuality. When Jahid was 24 years old, he and Sean became the first gay couple to have a Muslim wedding in Britain, which was performed at a courthouse. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. That is sweet. Erica and Art. Okay, this is the last true stories of love found in totally unexpected ways. Erica and Harris lived in... Erica and Harris. Erica Harris lived in California. And Art... Oh, that's kind of a cool name. I mean, it's spelled A-R-T-E. Is it R-T or Art? I think it's Art Vaughn. Lived in New York. Even though they were at thousands of miles apart, they found each other through Instagram. Good old Instagram. Connecting people every day. So they were both part of an online poetry communication community that used the same hashtags to follow each other's writing. I guess that's one way to find people, is to find things that you're interested in and follow hashtags. And then stalk until you find somebody that's attractive and adoring and that you agree with their posts, and then just, DM them. Hey guys, love is out there. Art had written a poem that included 7 deadly sins, which is how Erica found him. She left a comment and the two began to talk. For a year, they exchanged photos, videos, and phone calls. Obviously, these two amateur poets were true romantics at heart. They fell deeply in love and decided they should get married, even before meeting face to face. Wow. I don't know if I could do that, guys. Let me know if you could do that, because... dang. In 2016, Erica and Art met for the first time at an airport in California. Art got down on one knee and proposed. They immediately got married by Justice of the Peace. A news crew was there to film the entire thing. How did they know about it? Interesting. Art told them to follow your heart when it comes to love. Oh, guys, follow your heart. Okay, last one. Our last section of crazy love stories is crazy real-life love stories. Oh, they're anticlimactic. So love is like a socially accepted insanity. That's what this site says, and this is what we're going to get into. So this site is Desinema. It's Desinema. If you want to go check it out. So, love is like a socially accepted insanity. It can last beyond a lifetime of separation, beyond death, beyond war, beyond tragedy, even beyond the universe, if Interstellar is to be believed. What do you mean, if Interstellar is to be believed? Come on. February being the month of love. Hey now, here we are. More specifically, the celebration of love, we bring you 10 odd tales of real-life love stories to make you believe in the power of love all over again. So let's do it. Born together, died together. Call it a coincidence or true love. Helen and Les were born together on the 31st of December, 1918. They met in high school, fell madly in love with, and eloped together. After 75 years of wonderful married life. Holy cow. That's a long time. I mean... yeah, that's a long time. Helen died on July 16th, and Les followed her death the very next day, July 17th. Aww. I wonder if they were, truly, truly in love. I mean, it says they fell madly in love. 75 years. Wow, that's a long time, guys. Do you know anybody that's been married that long or longer or a similar story? I would love to know. Let me know. By the way, you can message me on the Instagram, Telephone Tales Instagram account. It's probably where I'll get your messages first if you have anything you want to say. So Bonnie and Clyde, oh yeah, obviously lovers and partners in crime, Bonnie and Clyde. The couple were notorious criminals during the Great Depression in the U.S. Together they robbed banks, small stores, or gas stations, and killed at least 9 police officers and several civilians. Dang. They were young, wild, and glamorous outlaws. Ultimately, Bonnie and Clyde died together in a police ambush in 1934. Yep, that's a classic. Okay, the woman, oh gosh. The woman who married the Berlin Wall. Have you heard of this woman? There's a lot of people who marry inanimate objects. This is an actual thing, and there is a documentary about this. It's quite fascinating. I don't have it on me right now. I don't know what it was called, but yeah, it's kind of just about people who marry or fall in love with inanimate objects. It's so interesting. But anyways, this woman married the Berlin Wall. So after a 36 years, wait, what? It's starting with an and at the beginning of the sentence, so it's throwing me off big time. And after 36 years, she still remains married to the Berlin Wall. Oh, I guess it's continuing. The woman who married the Berlin Wall and after 36 years still remains married to the Berlin Wall. It was separated by a picture, so I was confused. Sorry, guys. Aisha Rita Berliner Mauer. Her surname means the Berlin Wall. Wow. She said that she fell in love head over heels when she saw the wall for the first time on television at age 7. She wedded the concrete structure in 1979. And in 1989, when the Berlin Wall was torn down, she was horrified and said, "They mutilated my husband." Let me know what you think about that one. They were separated for 60 years. This is the next one. Anna and Boris got separated only 3 days after their marriage. While Boris was off fighting for the Red Army, Anna and her family were sent to exile. Unable to reach each other, Anna thought of committing suicide but later remarried. Boris looked for Anna everywhere but couldn't find her. Heartbroken and feeling miserable, he remarried too. 60 years later, one day, Anna saw an elderly man in the distance and discovered that it was Boris. Boris saw her too and ran up to her and said, "My darling, I've been waiting for you for so long. My wife, my life." They married each other again and lived happily. Wait, I'm hoping that these other people in their lives are no longer around. I mean, okay, so they married each other again and lived happily ever after. This is really sweet, but these other people that got involved, these other, significant others, I mean, what happened to them? Because that's pretty harsh. If they just, it's sad. It's sad that they couldn't find each other and then had to remarry. And is that even, I don't know. I guess that one's confusing to me. Moving on. The Madho La Hussein Shrine. The Madho La Hussein. Shah Hussein was a Punjabi Sufi poet who fell in love with a Bahman boy called Madho or Madhola. They are referred together as Madhola Hussain. Their tombs lie together in a shrine. Each year, hundreds of people visit this shrine and celebrate Mela Shirgan or Festival of Lights. Aw. Okay, love bloomed in a Nazi concentration camp. That seems to be, a common theme here. Okay, guys. I'm not going to be able to say these names very well. Sorry. Gerda Wiseman Klein, actually that wasn't so bad, along with 4,000 other Jewish women, was forced to march by the Nazis for months and months. At the end of the march, only 120... I don't know why I said that so happily, like it was a joyous occasion. I should have said that more somber, sorry. Now I'm just going to laugh and make it worse. Sorry, I'm on the edge. Breathe, Lisa, breathe. Okay. So unfortunately, they were forced to march by the Nazis for months and months. At the end of the march, only 120 were left alive, and Gerda had lost 65 members of her family. I don't even know if I have 65 members in my family, but that's crazy. That's a lot. I mean, I must, but that's a lot of people. The women were left at an abandoned factory for days without proper food. And then one day, a Jewish man named Kurt Klein came to the rescue. Greta said, "He looked like God to me." They married a year later in Paris and had 2 beautiful daughters together. That's one of my favorite stories so far, actually. Oh, that's so sad, but also so sweet. The world is a crazy place. Okay, this says propose to a pen friend without ever meeting her. That seems to be a common thing too. So maybe there is something to this pen pal thing before you get married. Because this one's short. After David Hurd moved to New York City in 1907, he started feeling lonely and began writing letters to an unknown woman named Avril Cato in the Caribbean. I thought Avril Lavigne was the first Avril, but I guess that's a pretty old name. A year later, he had utterly fallen in love and even proposed marriage through the letter. After this, all David could do was wait restlessly. He soon got a reply, a big yes. Woo! David and Avril met for the first time in Jamaica on their wedding day in August 1914. Avril went off to live with David in New York, and together they have half a dozen children. Why don't they just say 6 children? Why half a dozen children? I mean, that's 2 extra words that are unnecessary. Man married his dead girlfriend? No! What? Okay, I hope this is sweet. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's romantic. We'll see. Love while you still have the time. Duffy regretted not having ever married his girlfriend, Serena, when she wanted to. And then one day she died in a car accident. Aww. Duffy could have done anything to reverse back time, but unable to do so, Duffy decided to marry Serena's dead body on the day of her funeral. He placed a ring on Serena's finger and then kissed his dead pale wife. There's a picture of this. Yeah, that's all kinds of different emotions here. It's sweet, it's sad, it's a little morbid and weird, but also kind of sweet and romantic that he gave her what she wanted in the end. Guys, don't wait so long. Anyway, the man who built the second Taj Mahal. I mean, that's a lot to live up to. Anyway, I say anyway so much. I'm sorry. I'm going to really try hard to stop saying that, but it's just, I don't know. You might need to just get used to it. It's hard to change, guys. 77 years old, Fizzo Hassan Quadri decided to build a replica of the Taj Mahal in memory of his dead wife. When Quadri when he married his wife, she was only 14 years old. She was illiterate, and Quadri taught her how to read and write in Urdu. I hope that's right. They were childless, and his wife got sad, thinking that no one would ever remember her after she dies. Quadri told her that he'd built her a beautiful mausoleum so that people would remember her for ages. And as you can see in the picture, there's a lovely picture here. The man kept his promise. Yeah, it's actually really nice. It's very small, but very nice. The man who split a mountain in half. These are kind of sad. I don't know. Over the course of history, I bet thousands of men have vowed to their women that they would move mountains for their happiness. One man did. He literally moved split a mountain in half. When Dashrath Manji, I'm not going to get this right. Dashrath Manhini, when his wife died, because he couldn't get her to the doctor as the mountain stood in her way, he decided to hack the mountain to death. Known as Mountain Man, it took him 22 years and an enormous amount of strength to carve a 400-foot long, 30-foot wide road through the middle of Galore Hills. He hoped that the people of his village would get easier access to medical services and not lose loved ones like he had. Oh, that's like the best thing ever. Sometimes it takes a tragedy for, change or some powerful movement or some really great turn of events to occur. What do you think? Okay, so that was the end of that one. There is real love out there, guys. And I put out some feelers out there to people who, some listeners, even though this is the first episode, they're basically like friends and family that I asked to send in stories that they had that they would like to share about love. And I didn't get a lot of responses. I think I only have 2, but I'm going to read what I do have and see if any of them were worth. Okay, let's see. All right. So, date number 1. This is a crazy date story, apparently. I accepted a date with a guy I knew from work. I drove from my hometown to another town in the same state because we were going to see an exhibit of Chinese antiquities and then go for dinner. From the very start, he was trying to impress me, talking about his BMW and the money and all that. And I will say, he did open doors for me in the beginning. The exhibit was breathtaking, despite him getting a little too close from time to time. I mean, you are on a date, right? But it is a first date, right? Yeah, it's a first date. Back off a little, guy. We had dinner at a little sports bar, and I guess I was starved for some conversation not about money, so I engaged in a friendly banter with the bartender. I guess oops. I'm not supposed to use real names. I guess, we'll call him Peter, thought I was flirting because after he paid the check, he walked out to the car without a word, without holding the door, and without really giving me any time to stand up from the table. He had just started the car, put it in gear, and I managed to get in before he actually left me in the freaking parking lot. She didn't say freaking, but I said freaking. I picked up my car at his apartment complex, and that was the last time we had any contact. P.S. The bartender was way hotter than Peter anyway. Turned out to be a nice date then. P.S. I hate when guys are obsessed with money. I mean, yeah, me too. I think it's not everything, and when it becomes the only thing, like the most important thing, that's when it gets, it's fine if you want to focus on a good career and have money. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but when it becomes your whole focus and the only thing that you're obsessed with, yeah, that's a bit much. Okay, so let's see. We've got another one. Okay, so the next one, I broke up with a guy before I moved to Florence. We'll call it Florence. It's not it, but this is anonymous, guys. I'm trying to be anonymous for people. I broke up with a guy before I moved to Florence. Since I was moving to another state. This isn't the United States, though. So there's some place out there called Florence, I'm sure. Since I was moving to another state, it was mutually agreed that it would be best to date other people and move on with our lives. I did not hear from him for over a year. Out of the blue, one day, he, my ex-boyfriend, calls me and tells me that he's coming to see me, but I didn't want to see him. I had moved on, and because I accepted, let me rewind here, I'm a little confused. Okay, so I accepted a date to a concert with another guy for that night that he said he was going to come. So anticipating a double date night disaster, I told my concert date that I think it would be best just to make it another time. My ex may show up, who was coming to see me against my advice. But my concert date said he really wanted to go and already bought tickets, and the concert was that night and he could not get reimbursed for the tickets or find someone else to go. So I agreed to go, but at the last minute, concert date guy calls me and says he had a family emergency and could not go. She's thinking that maybe her ex-boyfriend contacted him and gave him a little warning. I don't know. But the concert date insisted that I go with his best friend instead, who just had to see the concert and would use the ticket. Well, he could have had his best friend go with him. I don't know. I'm confused. Concert date felt sorry for his best friend because he didn't have a ticket. I didn't. She put in parentheses. I didn't feel sorry for him. I didn't know his best friend at all, and I didn't want to go on a date with a stranger, but he insisted that I go, and I would be doing him a big favor because his best friend just had to see this concert. Okay, so I went reluctantly with his best friend. After the concert, his best friend took me in front of a house in a residential area. Why? He wanted to spy on his ex-girlfriend to see who she was dating. And then she ends it with, "Take me home now." Oh my gosh. That one's actually hilarious. Wow, yeah, that was a tricky mess. Okay, so that was the end of this Valentine's episode. Okay, sorry, that was aggressive. I swear I love you. Let me know what you think, and yeah, I guess we'll just pick up next time. Hopefully I'll have something on the books. I don't have an idea for next week yet, but I'll think of something soon, hopefully. But it would be great if you kept in touch. Let me know some of your confessions of your dates or things that went wrong, or if you talk to your parents or know anybody who has a good story, let me know. Also, give me an idea of kind of some stories or topics of stories that you would like me to read. I would love to hear from you so that I can give you what you want. Yeah, so best way to reach me is on Instagram, but you can always just leave a comment on the podcast website or maybe email. I think I have an email, telephonetales@gmail.com. I think that's right. It could be Telephone Tales Podcast. Let me check before I give you the wrong information. Yes, it's telephonetalespod@gmail.com. So you can always email me. Hope you guys take care, and please send me a co-host, please. All right, talk to you later. Bye.